Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I'm going to make a little video today. I think you're going to find it super interesting. A lot of information I'm putting together, and how it started was here I was on Facebook, and I saw this on my news feed. It was a story that just came out this morning. Levelland man arrested for robbery after breaking into business, assaulting owner. Okay, and so as I do oftentimes, I read the story. The guy's name was Timothy Garrett, and then I did a Facebook search for Timothy Garrett to see if we had any mutual friends, etc. I do that all the time, And so here I'm just going to do this little write-up deal. I did search on Facebook for Timothy Garrett, and I found a guy that looked like him who I had two mutual Facebook friends with, and one of them was Rana Brott. She used Sherry Angel as her Facebook name. Rana was the woman who told me that she believed Hailey Dunn was killed in her home in Odessa by the same gang members multiple other people have said killed Hailey. She was afraid for her life and asked me not to say anything, so I sent our messages to Midland Chief of Police Seth Herman. 6 months later, Rana was dead, And I questioned myself, maybe I should have spoken up, instead of sending the messages over there. Another woman, Tisha Wilkinson Bradley, told me that her niece lived close to this home that Rana lived at, and that she had seen and talked to Hailey there. That home later burned down. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I wonder if this guy in Levelland is the same guy that was friends with Rana Brott. Okay. And so here I'm going to show you, I did the search, and this is what I found. This is the Timothy Garrett I found with a Facebook search who was friends with Rana Brott. So I'm just going to click on that and go to his Facebook here. There's a picture of him. And so I look down, there's another picture of him. And I go down here, and we had two mutual friends. One's Crystal Scott Stevens. The other is Angel Sherry. That's Rana Brott. That's who I had all these messages with. And that's what I was saying, that Rana told me that she believed Hailey was killed at her house. She was afraid for her life, and 6 months later, she's dead, And so there's pictures of Rana. Okay, so let me get back to the story. I took the two pictures, the one from the Facebook profile and the one from the news, and I put them side by side so I can compare them and and go, I wonder if this is the same guy. And I think they look alike. I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all can pop in and go, yeah, that's the guy, or that's not the guy, or whatever. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking. And so here was the Facebook page for Rana Brott, Angel Sherry. And I just showed you that, okay? I made a video last November after I found out that Rana was dead, okay, called Hailey Dunn Witness is Now Dead, okay? And I got a link here on my Facebook, and here's the video. We're just going to play the first couple minutes of it.
Hello everybody, this is Buddy Webb here in Midland, Texas. This is going to be a very interesting video. It's another on the Hailey Dunn. But what it's going to be is information that has never been publicly released. I've had this for a long time. A woman, Melissa Rana Campbell, we're looking at her obituary right now, had contacted me on private messenger, and she told me she believed that Hailey was killed at her home on Cloudcroft Street in Odessa with a just huge amount of details.
Okay, and so I just wanted to tell you that that's out there. Y'all can watch it. And then the next thing I did was I posted some of the private messages between Rana and myself. Now remember, I kept these anonymous. I kept these secret for a long time. Actually, I sent them to the Midland Chief of Police Seth Herman, and hoping he would do something. And what happened was 6 months later, I didn't find out till a year and a half later that Rana was dead. But what I found out is 6 months after she had told me she's afraid for her life, don't say nothing, which I didn't, then she was dead. Okay, so here's just some of these messages. I got about 6 or 7 pages. We're going to look at them. Now keep in mind, this is from Rana to me. She's telling me this is. You're going to find this super interesting. Okay, here, I don't know if that's going to focus in good. She starts here. My ex almost did a 360 twist on my right ankle about 2.5 years ago, and I said, I'm sorry to hear that. So, oh my God, I told you, you and I are something. are tied in. Buddy, my name is Melissa Rana Brott. I'm 47 years old. You're more than welcome to check on me. I have nothing to fear but fear itself. But I have a 29-year-old son with the Marine Corps. I said, there's no need for that. You haven't threatened me, and if you did, then I get threatened all the time. The information is good, but most of it I've already heard, as you can tell. And she goes on, he's a sergeant, he's done 4 deployments, her son. I think it's interesting to hear that Stephen Truex was one of the secret police. Okay, that's something she already told me. He's a police officer, a Midland police officer. And she goes on and says, he's a top 10 sniper, married 2 kids. He is one I truly need to protect. It's Stephen Truex, okay? And so that was page 1 there. There's a lot of names going to get dropped here, okay? And then she's not named Bill Yancey as Ghost. I think all them gang members, they have these little code names or whatever they call them, gang member names. And I think maybe Bill Yancey was Ghost, okay? I said, I'm not familiar with any of those names. Static, okay? And I know who that is now, but I didn't, I didn't for a long time, and that was Braddock. Dustin Braddock was his name. Menace is Norman, Cheryl Serber. Trust me, she's throwing these names out. 2 people told me that, and there were names of these gang members over in Odessa that supposedly involved in the kidnapping of Hailey. 2 people told me that Hailey was buried in the backyard of the cop for a while. And then she gives another name, Jenny McCarty, okay? I don't know who that is. And then I say Taryn Thomas, because Taryn Thomas is the one that told me, lots of people know Hailey was at that home over in Odessa. I have print screen on that. Rana goes on, she says, she was actually buried in between 2 buildings going out to Gardendale on a private building lot in between Odessa and Kermit. But as I said, I know that baby girl was given a hot shot inside my trailer in the back room by no other than Brandy Dunn. Okay, now I'm not saying Brandy Dunn did that, but I will say that Rana Brott told me that before she died. Okay, and so... And here's the next page. I knew it, buddy. Please, by the grace of God, I'm begging you. I'm right. I would know my family, especially cousins. His dad and my mom are siblings. That is Stephen Truex. This is just talking about. Please, just never mention my name. And I didn't until after she was dead. But that is Stephen Glenn Truex. He's my cousin. He's with MPD, the Midland Police Department. Neil Truex Jr. is my cousin. He's with SWAT team in Midland. I said, do you think he is dirty too? And she writes, Jacob and Zachary Owens are my cousins. They are patrols with MPD. Buddy, to be honest with you, I said, they don't sound familiar. I don't know these people. Okay. On here, but I know that to me, Hailey was killed in my trailer. Does the name Taggart mean anything to you? I'm asking her. Yes. Does Lisa Metter? She's asking me, and she says she has Taggart's son, and I said no. Is she still alive? And then she says Leslie Baker ? And other people probably know this better than I do because I don't know these people. No, I don't know any of these people, but I've heard that name. Taggart has a son by a woman named Lisa Metter. She's a friend of mine in person and on Facebook. Leslie and Lisa are sisters. By the way, Taggart is not Brandy's so-called dad, but Bear, a.k.a. David Manning, is in federal prison at the time. Robbie is dead due to a hot shot, which they all tie into Hailey. That's what she's telling me. Okay. Let's see. That's one we just looked at. Let's go. Dude, I would say all the time, Hailey. I said, I was told that Hailey was given a hot shot on purpose, as in premeditated murder. Yes, by David Manning. That's what Rana told me. C-Dub. I guess that's his gang name or whatever. David Manning must be C-Dub. I was told that a woman ordered it, though, Liddy or something. And she goes, or by Robbie. And I said Libby instead of Liddy. Libby. And then she says Cindy Farmer or Cindy Hines. And then Libby, ? And I say Letty. And then she says, no, Libby is Olivia French. I said, it was Letty. And she goes, she's in prison. Because I had multiple people that told me Letty was a big-time drug dealer that had ordered Hailey's murder. Okay. Here's the next one. She was actually buried in between 2 buildings going out to Gardendale. I think we already said that. Okay. Here this was missed. I think they're out of order. That's what's going on. Okay. I thought you said David Manning gave her the hot shot. was told to give by David. Brandy was with David Manning. Brandy Dunn was with David Manning, and David told her to. Okay, I was told that Letty is the person who ordered it by two people. So was Hailey's mom, Billy Dunn. She was with David Manning for a minute. So she's saying that Hailey's mom, Billy, was also hooked up with this David Manning. Taggart has known Brandy her whole life, helped raise her. Do you see how it all ties into Brandy? Brandy lived in my trailer with me. That's what she's saying. Okay. Remember, Brandy contacted me and said that she has information that she knows that Hailey was killed in the home of, I can't remember her name. I have a print screen on it. But anyway, I have a print screen for Brandy. I was told that Letty's personal order, all ties with me. Brandy is on a mission. It's not good. I said, this is what Brandy told me. Okay, here's the print screen. I said, Brandy had wrote me and said, and yeah, no, she was at Brooke Owensby's house. I have just recently found that out. I have more info than you can imagine. I said, so you know what happened to Hailey? And Brandy says, I'll give it to you if you put out a press release saying that the names had nothing to do with it. It's taken a lot of digging and listening, and people been around people that want to kill for it. But yes, I pretty much know it all. Brandy Dunn told me that, okay? And what she wanted me to do was say that Braddock, who was static, right, and that Casey Frazee wasn't there. And then she would tell me what happened to Hailey. If you have information which refutes the multiple witnesses, then I'd be glad to share that. And Brandy says there's a video and the cops have it. And I said, a video? What? Hailey's murder? And Brandy says, yes. It was the video of Cody Mercer's murder. The cops have both of them. Okay. I said, that's interesting. I don't know who that is. Was he murdered there too? Yes, he was. Look it up. You'll find it as interesting as Hailey's. Okay. And here at the bottom here, this is more Rana. Ever since Robbie was OD'd 2 months ago, funny, Brandy and Robbie were together as well. Okay, so she's dropping a hint that was another murder. So there's some of the messages that I had sent over in, to law enforcement, because people say they have information on the murder of this little girl, 13-year-old missing murdered child, right? Okay, and so here's the next one that I posted on his Facebook. I keep people anonymous unless I think it's a matter of life and death, and that is what this is. I won't stay silent about a murder for anybody. It's my understanding that Tisha's niece lived down the street from Rana, and that is one of the places that she had seen and spoken to Hailey Dunn at. Remember, Rana said that Hailey was killed in her trailer, okay? So these are messages from Tisha Ann Wilkinson Bradley and myself, okay? And this is real interesting too. Nobody's ever seen this, I don't think. Jackie Thompson, the previous OPD officer, is another one. Joe Commander, we bought weed from his sheriff's car trunk when we were kids. He ran for sheriff here and everyone knows him. Previous sheriff Mark Donaldson, known for getting paid off from drug dealers, specifically Dutch overs. Donaldson was under sheriff for Ector County. Sheriff Terwood was elected. He kept trying to do drug raids and nothing until Yearwood fired Donaldson and boom, got drug dealers in the run. And so here I wrote, I suspected it was my videos that caused Joe Commander's retirement, as I've documented multiple people saying he was dirty and he had a connection to Hailey Dunn. Also, Rana had told me that Brandy had given Joe Commander my name or something like that. Now, and she said that Billy Dunn was one of Joe's girls, as in she was an informant. That Brandy was one of Joe's girls. Okay. Now the telling part. When Donaldson was fired, Ector County Commissioner created a position at Ector County Courthouse specifically for Donaldson for him to work until he could run for sheriff. He ran for sheriff and won. Sad day. Yearwood just faded away. Yearwood was a good egg. I have not heard of a connection between Joe and Hailey. But my niece a few years back ran with the Aryan Nation. She's seen Hailey Dunn 2 times. One was at Jackie Thompson's, one at a connection. She called me, asked what she should do. I told her, give me the information, I will call the cops. She was scared, took her a few days to tell me. When she did, 30 minutes after she told me, she called me crying, saying she went back to the connections house and Hailey was dead. They hid her out in a septic tank for 2 days, then dumped her in Big Springs. Please never use my name. Call me if you have a minute. Sheriff Griffiths is in Ector County, is a cousin of mine. 4 cousins and a husband are deputies. My son works at the jail. Will be deputy in 9 months. I worked in Joe Commander and Mike Griffith's campaign. My fiance owns Amigos Bail Bond in Odessa. So you can imagine what my world is like, laughing out loud. And like I said, I will keep people anonymous except when I think it's a matter of life and death, you know. And I think this is a matter of life and death. That's all there is to it. Maybe I should have spoken up more about Rana and she'd still be alive, you know. And but I want to tell you, show you how all this fits together. All these different people are saying Hailey was killed in Odessa, okay? Names, places, who, where, when, how, and all that, you know. And they got Sean arrested over there, and they won't call me back, right? Allison told the Hailey Dunn blogger on a recorded phone call that Hailey had been buried in the backyard of former Odessa police officer Jackie Thompson's house. And Tisha told me that her niece had also seen and talked to Hailey at his home, which I just showed you. I had guessed they had put Hailey in his septic tank before they moved here, in Jackie Thompson's septic tank. So I've got a video called Buried in the Backyard of Odessa Cop. We're going to listen to a minute of it. This is Allison Frazier. She was, I think she has a kid with Cody Frazier and also with one more of them other gang members, Kevin Rickman, Birdie. Okay, so she has a child with one of them. So she knows these Aryan Brotherhood people real well. She's talking to a Hailey Dunn blogger right here.
The bodies were also at Jackie Thompson's backyard.
Who's Jackie Thompson?
I don't know if Jackie Thompson was a police officer in Odessa, Texas, but he got arrested 2 years back on dope charges. He was a police officer.
You knew about Hailey?
Yeah, he knew about Hailey. Hailey was in his backyard.
Yeah, he knew about Hailey. Hailey was in her backyard. And keep in mind, Tisha's niece said she saw and spoke to Hailey Dunn at Jackie's home, okay? And so I just want to put all that together for you right there, okay? The news reported that former Odessa police officer Jackie Thompson was sentenced to prison for moving 500 pounds of meth. And I overheard Allison talking to Jackie one day, confirming that he was friends with Aryan Brotherhood gang members. He was friends with Birdie and them guys. And that several people have said Hailey in Odessa had kidnapped Hailey over in Odessa. He got out of prison early because of COVID. And like I said, I overheard Allison talking to him on the phone, and I know for a fact that Jackie is buddies with them, with Birdie and all them guys, and that's where you got multiple people saying that Hailey was buried in the backyard of Odessa police officer, and I think that might explain a whole bunch of the cover-ups going on. Anyway, I just thought you might find that interesting, how all that come about. This Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.